Hello, everyone. Now, for today, I do not want you to take notes. I want you to just listen. I'm going to tell you a little story. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start talking about what the structure of DNA is, I wanted to go over why the structure of DNA is what it is. Okay? Hence the picture on the board. First, before we begin, does anyone know what DNA actually stands for? Very close. Deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA. Now, most people have heard of the shape of DNA as a twisted staircase, as was in the video, very hot, or a ladder that is twisted. The paper name for the shape of DNA is actually called a double helix. You actually may want to write that down. DNA shape, double helix. I know that whole no notes thing, I just lied to you. Okay, double helix. What does double mean? Two. Excellent. Anyone know what helix means? Spiral. So we were talking about two spirals. So far, so good? DNA has double two spirals. All right, back to the story. Ladies and gentlemen, DNA is actually relatively simple. It is made up of only 6 basic parts. And all the information that determines how tall you are, what color eyes you're going to have, what your taste buds like, okay? How hungry you get. All that information, your hair color, is all wrapped up in these 6 bases and how they're put together. Okay? So here let's take a look at these 6 basic parts. The first part is deoxyribose. Nice. All right. The second part is a phosphate group. And then you have 4 nucleotides. You'll have plenty of time to write these down in a little bit. I just want you to listen for now, please. You have 4 bases: cytosine, C, thymine, T, adenine, A, and guanine, G. Yeah, that's right. On the video we saw the C, the T, the A, and the G. It's the special code that your body reads. It's made up of those 4 bases, and we're going to talk about how that works really soon. Now, please notice that both the cytosine and the thymine have only one ring. One ring. But adenine and guanine both have 2 rings. 2 rings. See that? Does that make sense? Especially good. You guys loving my headset, aren't you? It's alright. Make me jealous. Now, for a minute, we're going to look at just the phosphate group and the deoxyribose. So if I click to the next slide, boom, there it is. I'd like you to think of the twisted ladder model for a moment. The 2 sides of the ladder, the 2 outside parts, are the backbone of DNA. They're what hold DNA together. Okay? So far, so good? Thank you. These backbones are made up of a repeating sequence of just these 2 parts, the phosphate group and the deoxyribose. Let's see how these 2 parts bond. If you follow the arrows from the phosphate group and the deoxyribonucleic group, you will see that the phosphate group gives up a hydrogen and the deoxyribose gives up OH. What's 2 H's and oxygen again? What do 2 H's and oxygen make up? Water. Thank you. So the phosphate group and the deoxyribo group combine to make this nice little pattern here that forms the backbone of all DNA and water. Okay. That is as far as we're going to go for right now. Thank you for listening.